800 LANZESS.
We're the Good Neighbor Network, FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, audio and video streaming at WGNSradio.com. This is the Roundtable. A look at the news, views, politics, and people that are shaping Rutherford County.
Hey, and good morning, everybody. Welcome to your Tuesday morning edition of the Roundtable Show with Rick and Wayne. Come to you every Tuesday morning here at WGNS and try to hopefully make you have a little bit of better of a day. We laugh around and have fun. But Mr. Wayne, how are you, buddy?
Good morning, Brother Rick. Doing very well. Hope you had a nice hot weekend.
I did, man. It was super hot. I went and watched some baseball at Riverdale. They've had a kind of a high school. We're in town. They were playing. Several teams were playing, so I got to go watch a friend of mine's son, and it was absolutely hot on that turf out there.
I mean, high school football practice, I presume, has started.
Yeah.
So, can you? I don't. Back in our day, coaches didn't believe in hydrating during practice.
Yeah.
They thought it built mental toughness. Of course, we found out, 50 years later, hey, you need to drink water when you're practicing in 100-degree heat. So, but
it bothered me, but I remember playing in it for years, up into my 20s, and thinking I don't think I ever complained about it much. But those kids weren't. But
you just want to play.
Yeah.
I can remember at middle, my freshman year. Of course, I had never played on artificial turf till I got to middle, and the first week of a fall camp, they called it, we did ABCs, and they were like 12 different activity stations, and you never stopped for however long we did it, 20 minutes, 25, but they had what they called a wet bulb on the turf, and if it got to a certain temperature, then they pulled us off the field. And we're going, you going what? We're not used to calling off practice for anything. I remember practicing in the lightning and the thunderstorms.
Yep.
So
things have changed, haven't they?
Yeah, they sure have. About the weekend, it was pretty relaxing until all heck broke loose, Saturday evening with the assassination attempt on President Trump. And, I'm still, of course, you're a law enforcement professional, how that elevated line of sight position was not secured, and how this guy found that location walking around with a rifle. I can't wrap my head around that, and I'm just shaking my head.
I agree. I know we can quarterback things, but I can remember several of 7 dignitaries in this area, and the Secret Service usually takes and says, okay, this is our area of responsibility, and here's your area, and we were more worried about traffic and how to get people in and out versus what so it's easy to get tunnel vision on something if you're not used to it all the time.
And I know we want to get to our program because we have one of our favorite guests this morning, but
she probably has an opinion on this.
Yeah. Robert Kennedy Jr., his uncle, former president of the United States, assassinated. His father, Robert Kennedy, presidential candidate, assassinated. Why would the Secret Service not give him Secret Service? It just makes no sense to me at all.
Well, I think common sense goes out the window as soon as you run for public office, right? You lose all common sense.
He did get it yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh, did he?
Yesterday.
I think the Secret Service agency director, is that what she's called?
She is.
I think she needs to resign immediately. I think incompetence across her forehead is probably appropriate.
Well, it's not happened in 43 years, and I had my daughter, she's 19, almost 20, and I had her watching every minute of it, and I think she's a little bored, but I'm going to say, there's going to be movies about this. There's going to be books written about it for years to come, and you're going to be able to say, hey, I watched that when it happened.
Yeah.
I could remember like yesterday when Reagan was shot. You know, we didn't have live TV like we do now, but we were all glued to our, 5 p.m. world news that came on, and I can remember it like it was yesterday.
Well, I was 9 years old when President Kennedy was shot, and I was at a neighbor's house, home with the flu, and Walter Cronkite comes on, and so the space shuttle. There's just some things that you just permanently etched in your memory. So
I've done it twice in the past month with her. You know, when UT won the national championship in baseball, I made her watch it, and then with the thing with Trump. But I don't mean to joke about what happened this weekend. It's super serious, and I hope they just get to the bottom of it. I really do. Hey,
if I could, real quick, another one of our favorite guests, Cheryl Blanchard with Alzheimer's Tennessee. They have a fundraising opportunity July 20th, noon to 10 at Middle Ground Brewing Company. It's a day of vinyl, live music, good times for a great cause. Of course, we've talked about this dreaded disease several times now on our show. So again, July 20th, noon to 10 p.m., Middle Ground Brewing Company at 2476 Old Fort Parkway here in Murfreesboro. So maybe go out and support a great cause. So Beth Bryant, we're so pleased to have you again. Thank you with Isaiah 117. And, Rick and I have a passion for organizations that take care of our children, and you and your volunteers, you certainly do the Lord's work with taking care of children that are in probably the toughest situation that they could be in. So welcome back, and thank you for being here this morning.
Well, thanks for having me. I always love coming and spending an hour with you guys and giving me the chance to spread awareness about what we're doing here in the community. So I appreciate you guys having me.
Yep. Go ahead, Rick.
So last time you were with us, y'all had a lot going on, and I know since then, I'm trying to think, it was like the middle of last year maybe when we had you here last.
I feel like we always have a lot going on.
Well, I can remember Wayne and I went and did a tour of it afterwards and saw you guys in action and how cool of a program and everything in there. But tell those people that might be listening right now, what is Isaiah 117? What do y'all do? What do you stand for? And
Absolutely.
How do y'all help our community?
Yeah, so our mission is to reduce trauma for children that are entering the foster care system. So on removal day, so when children are being removed from their home by the Department of Children's Services for neglect or abuse, there's a number of reasons why children might be removed from their environment. That obviously is an extremely traumatic day. They've experienced trauma leading up to that point already, but even if that home that they're being removed from is not a loving, safe environment, it's still their home. And so before our house existed, when children were being removed from their home, oftentimes while they were waiting, for foster placement or for a placement in a facility or a hospital, or depending on where they needed to go, oftentimes they were having to go to the Department of Children's Services office and wait in a cubicle while their caseworker was, doing paperwork and making phone calls and trying to figure out, what is the next step for these children or this child, where are they going to go from here? And so you can imagine as a child, sitting, in an office cubicle or in an office chair, or sometimes on the floor, scared, lonely, sad, angry, however they may be feeling, that's definitely not where you want to be on that day. And so instead of doing that, now we have this beautiful home here in Rutherford County where the children can come. DCS gives us a call, and if we've got the space and the availability, then they can bring them directly to our house. DCS obviously stays there with them, and we love on those caseworkers too, because we know that they've had a very, very difficult day. And you know that, Rick, firsthand.
Very much so.
And so we can love on them as well while they do their job. We've got trained volunteers there to spend time with the children and meet their needs, whatever they may be. Sometimes they're hungry, sometimes they need a bath and new clothes, and sometimes they just want to watch TV or play a game. We've got thanks to you guys, we've got an amazing basketball goal out in our driveway where they could go out and shoot some hoops. We've got a lovely backyard with a swing set. We've got a screened-in back porch. Great big comfy couch with all the video games and movies. We've got a giant kitchen filled with all the kid-friendly snacks and a freezer full of chicken nuggets and a pantry full of mac and cheese and ramen noodles and peanut butter and jelly. And then also, sometimes it takes several days for DCS to figure out where these kiddos are going to go. And so we do have bedrooms there at the house for the children if they need to stay with us overnight.
Let's give a shout out to Brandon Baldwin with Baldwin Construction. That actually Rick went and picked the goal up. The past presidents of the past presidents council of the Smyrna Rotary Club, we paid for the goal, and then Brandon Baldwin of Baldwin Construction installed it. And thank goodness for that auger, because you've got you got some tough red clay there.
Yeah.
In that. But we just, again, he donated his time to install that goal, and we thank Brandon for doing that.
Yes, we're so grateful to Brandon. We're so grateful to the Smyrna Rotary. One of the things that we, as our staff here in Rutherford County, are just so overwhelmed by how the Rutherford County community has embraced our mission and what we're trying to do here. We just feel like everyone has just jumped on board with us, and they just want to help us change this situation for these children here in our community. So it really has truly been amazing to see all of the, the civic organizations, the churches, the businesses, families, other kids in the community that want to help us make a difference. So it's just been truly amazing to see how the Rutherford County community has just jumped on board with us.
Maybe after a break, so you can kind of get your head together, you can recognize a number of those partners
Sure.
That have been of such help.
Yes, that's always hard for me though, Wayne, because I don't ever want to leave anybody out.
You don't.
There's so many.
I know.
There's so many. I do want to talk a little bit after the break about this past weekend, talking about how hot it was. Man, we had so many people in this community out in that heat helping us raise money this past weekend. So I do want to talk about our lemonade challenge after the break. So,
just thinking the description that you gave of a child being taken from a home for their safety, and there they are sitting in a cubicle with a caseworker, and like I said, they may be scared, they're angry. It just breaks my heart to think of that picture, and then to know that Isaiah 117 has taken that all away. And Rick, like Rick said, we've gone through that facility, and I was in awe of how nice and how prepared you are for the comfort of these children that are coming from such tough situations.
Kids come in a lot of times, and they walk in, and just to see their faces when they walk into the house, and they'll ask a lot of times, they'll say, whose house is this? Or who lives here? Do you live here? And it's so wonderful to look at them and say, this house is here for you. This house is here for kids just like you, who need somewhere to go. We built this house for you. And, even the older kids, when they look around, we've got canvases. I know you guys saw them, pictures on the wall of people in the community who helped us build the house. And they're like, who are those people? We say, these are people that live here in Rutherford County, here in Murfreesboro, here in Smyrna, in Laverne. These are people that wanted to help build this house for you. Going upstairs in the giving room, and I know you guys have been up there and seen how amazing it is. I mean, it's wall-to-wall tubs filled with things that have been donated by the community for these children, so that when these kids walk in, most of the times with just the clothes on their back, our volunteers can go upstairs and pull out a duffel bag and pack a bag with everything these kids are going to need for the next few days easily, because the community has just embraced our mission and are constantly asking, what do you need? What do you need? What can we do? What can we do to help? So it's pretty amazing.
As far as clothes, are you better off having some kind of gift card that you can go out and pick something up for that child immediately? Does that work best, or how can the community help?
So gift cards are always great. Gift cards for grocery stores are awesome, because we're always doing some grocery shopping. We've got several volunteers that love to go to like TJ Maxx and Marshall's, Ross, places like that, because these kiddos are just like all the other kids in our community. They a lot of times have never had the opportunity to have these name brand clothes that their peers wear to school. And so we definitely, one of the things that we do is we lavishly love. And so we want to give these kids the opportunity to have that pair of Nike shoes that they've never had before, or, that really nice jacket that maybe all the kids in their class at school have that they've never had before. So, gift cards to Dick's is always great. Those things are great. We also have a tub sponsorship program that we do with our giving room. So we've got families, small groups, youth groups, businesses who sponsor tubs in our giving room. And so the way that works is when we go to pack a bag for a child, if we pull a tub out, say it's the adult male bottoms tub, and so we're packing a bag for a teenage boy, and we go and we pull a couple pairs of shorts out, and we notice, hey, this tub's looking a little low. We pull the spreadsheet, and we see, okay, Rick Hall sponsors this tub, so we'll give him a call and say, hey, your tub's running a little low. Could you run out and grab a couple pairs of shorts for your tub? So that's also a really easy way for somebody to help out that doesn't require a huge commitment, but it's just a way, the way that we look at it is everybody doing something small makes a huge difference.
Sure does.
Maybe refresh our audience memory as far as how Isaiah 117 began and the growth over the last several years.
Absolutely. So, it's almost been 6 years now, which is crazy to think about. Our founder, Rhonda Polson, lives in Carter County, Elizabethton, Tennessee. She was in the process of adopting a foster child that she and her husband had taken into their home. His name is Isaiah. And they were at a meeting at the Carter County DCS office. And they're in the conference room meeting with their caseworker, and she noticed some sleeping bags on the floor there in the conference room. So she asked the DCS worker, why are there sleeping bags here on the floor? And the caseworker said, well, that's because children slept on the floor here last night. And she realized that, there were children that had come into custody that had nowhere to go because they had not been able to find foster placement for these kids. And she just really felt in that moment that God was calling her to do more than just foster, that she was, being called to help more than just this one child, that he really wanted her to make a difference for all of the children that were coming into foster care in her community. And so this was back in 2017. She started the process of raising money and trying to get this house built in her community. And so once that house was opened and word spread kind of in the East Tennessee area, and people started realizing what a difference it was making in the lives of the children in her community, it spread like wildfire. And houses started popping up all over the place. And I believe as of right now, we have 24 open homes in 8 different states. However, we have 52 locations, which that means we've got 52 counties in, I believe, 12 different states that are in the process, somewhere in the process of trying to get a house built. So we're hoping by the end of 2025 to have 52 open homes in 12 different states.
What about Tennessee as far as what's here?
Oh gosh, I believe in Tennessee we have, I think 16 open homes in the state of Tennessee.
Wow.
Yes.
It's amazing.
I
in
know.
that short amount of time. You think,
I know. It's just, I mean, it's so obvious that God's hand is in all of this. Yeah.
Davidson County recently opened one?
So Davidson County is so close to opening.
Okay.
Their house is almost open. I would say, and I don't know this for sure, but I would say hopefully early fall, late summer, I would think they would be opening their doors.
I would hope that Davidson County, Shelby, Knox County, Hamilton County, of course Murfreesboro, were the.
So Knox County has an open home. They're
Okay.
they're currently serving children. Shelby County actually is getting 2 homes.
Okay.
Yeah, so they are in the process right now. They've got 1 home that I believe is close to being open, and then they're in the process of building a second home as well. Yeah.
This might be more of a Rick question, and but you know he's not as in tune as he once was. But I wonder how many children are taken from those type annually.
So I don't know annually, but I can tell you that so in the Mid-Cumberland region, so that's kind of our Department of Children's Services area here in Middle Tennessee, currently there are, and I mean, I don't know the exact number, about 1,000 children
Wow.
that are in state custody, and roughly a third of those are Rutherford County children.
Goodness.
Yeah.
So that's a
I
lot.
think that number's low. It might have gotten better since I left, and I left in 2017. So, yeah, it's a daily 3 or 4 times every day, 7 days a week, even.
Wow.
When I worked at Smyrna.
Heartbreaking.
Yeah. It, you know, we like to say what we do is beautifully broken, because it's heartbreaking, like you said, to think that there are so many children that are coming into state custody. But we definitely think it's beautiful that we now can help them and you know, and offer a little glimmer of light in that hard moment for them. So.
Sure enough. Title, you were director, but your area leader?
Location leader.
I knew they changed it around.
It gets changed a little bit every.
I avoided that. I just.
I think it changes every time I come to see you guys, so that's okay.
You're listening to Beth Bryant, location leader with
Yes.
Isaiah 117. I challenge you to Google it and look into a background, a little bit of what they do. It's just
Yes.
amazing work. But we're going to take our first break, and we'll be right back with you in just a minute.
Hi, this is Chip Walters with Exit Realty Bob Lamb & Associates. You might know me as the voice of the Blue Raiders, but I want to be your trusted advisor in real estate. Whether you're buying or selling, it's time to choose Chip. Do you have a growing family and need to upsize? Are you an empty nester now and need to downsize? Are you thinking of selling your current home but just worried you can't find something else? Well, it's time to choose Chip. I'm looking to be your trusted advisor in real estate. I'm Chip Walters with Exit Realty Bob Lamb & Associates.
Hey guys, if you've noticed a lack of energy, motivation, and drive, it could be low T. Be sure to schedule your health assessment at Low T Center. For established patients, they offer the convenience of physician-monitored self-inject at-home testosterone treatments with an average payment of $150 a month cash pay, including labs and medication. If you need the convenience of at-home treatment, Low T Center makes it easy, shipping treatments directly to you. Go to lowtcenter.com now to book your appointment online. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Del Walmsley and the Wealth Cycle.
This is the wealth cycle that I've taught for 30 years. Buy one house, 10 houses, an apartment, 2 apartments, 8, 20, 500 units, 1,000 units, 2,000, 5,000 units. And as you keep putting the money and the profits back in, you become one of those rich people. And much quicker than you'd even believe.
Learn Del's Wealth Cycle at GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. Use promo code 2023. Save 60%. Code 2023. GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. GiveMeTotalFreedom.com.
This is Good Neighbor Events with Bart Walker. Brought to you by AmeriCare Pest Control and the law offices of John Day.
I've got pets. Here's Tom Sweat with AmeriCare Services Incorporated.
AmeriCare's moisture control services include mold testing, mold remediation, crawl space repair, vapor barrier, sump pump installation, radon testing, radon mitigation, and basement waterproofing. If there's something wrong in your crawl space or basement, we can probably help. Just ask for a free inspection.
893-7111. AmeriCare Services Incorporated.
Let's check those WGNS Good Neighbor events. Have you voted yet? Early voting is going on right now through July the 27th. So get out and vote. Oh, the Rutherford County Library System is offering free computer classes. They're over at the Tech Center. You know, the Technology Engagement Center at 306 Minerva Drive. These free computer classes are Monday afternoons at 3:30 and Tuesdays at 2:30. And again, that's at the Tech Center on Minerva Drive. Put this on your calendar. The tax-free weekend is coming up July the 26th through the 28th. Save on your back-to-school items here in Tennessee. The tax-free weekend, July the 26th through the 28th. Now listen, there are 2 free grief support groups in our community. One is every Wednesday morning at 10 at the St. Clair Street Senior Center. The other is a walking grief support group, and the walk begins in the picnic pavilion at Oakland's Park, right next to Oakland's Mansion, the next day, Thursdays, at 9:30 in the morning, and they're both free. Those are WGNS Good Neighbor events.
Rutherford weather.
A heat advisory is in effect for the forecast area. A few spotty showers and storms at times this afternoon. A blend of clouds and sunshine develops with a high around 100. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki on News Radio WGNS.
Currently, it's 80.
Broadcasting from the Middle Tennessee Electric Studios, MTE has provided light, comfort, and connection to our community since 1936. As your trusted energy advisor, MTE is always here to help. Connect online or download the My MTE app.
This is the Roundtable from News Radio WGNS on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna. Listen and watch at WGNSradio.com.
And welcome back to the second segment of Tuesday Mornings with Rick and Wayne. And it's our pleasure to have one of our favorite guests, Beth Bryant with Isaiah 117. And, you know, just the work that you and your group do to take care of children, you're just going to be a favorite here.
Oh, well, thank you so much. I appreciate you saying that. I would love to tell you guys about this past weekend. It was amazing, to say the least. So every year, all the Isaiah 117 houses participate in the Lemonade Stand Challenge. And the reason it got started is back in 2017, when Carter County was trying to raise money to open the first house, some of the local kids in the area got on board and decided that they were going to hold some lemonade stands to try to raise money. You know, and lemonade stands, I think, are so nostalgic because you know, think about, I mean, I know my kids on a Saturday are like, hey, Mom, we're going to have a lemonade stand today. And you get out, you know, the Country Time packets and you start mixing lemonade and baking some cookies. And literally that's what they did. And these kids raised $7,000
wow.
To put towards this house. And so every year, all the Isaiah 117 houses from, you know, Friday to Sunday will hold lemonade stands in their area to try to raise money for their local houses. So we've been promoting this for quite some time now on our social media and through our newsletters. And here in Rutherford County, we had 41 lemonade stands from Friday to Sunday. And we're still counting. A little bit of money's kind of trickling in. But as of last night, y'all, we had raised over $21,000
wow.
Good gosh.
in lemonade stands.
That's pretty cool.
And I don't know if you guys have seen our social media, but I was posting pictures like crazy. I mean, some of these stands were just amazing. There was one on the square with the farmers market.
Yeah.
And I guess one of the girls that was participating had a pet fox that she brought with her. And so if you made a donation to the house, you could hold the fox and get your picture taken with the pet fox. So it was just amazing. I mean, you had youth groups that were holding lemonade stands, churches that were holding stands.
We had one at our congregation.
Did you? You did.
Yes. Uh-huh.
So we had, several of our, businesses that help support us held stands outside of their businesses. Chick-fil-A has always been a partner with us, and they, I think it was both of the stores on it was either Friday or Saturday, but for every lemonade that they sold, they donated, I think it was 10% of every lemonade that was purchased that day at both stores. Kona Ice is another business that really supports us. Anytime we have guests at the house and we're having a hard day, we can give Kona Ice a call, and they'll bring a truck out to our house and give free Kona Ice to everyone at the house. But they had 3 trucks in 3 different locations, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, all day long. And they are donating 20% of all of those sales back to the Isaiah House. And so it was an amazing weekend. My daughter and her friends actually had a stand. We were there all day Sunday at the Stones River Country Club. And we were catching golfers as they'd come around. Hey guys, you need some lemonade, you need some cookies. And so it was amazing to, I got to go around and visit some of the other stands, and a lot of our volunteers set stands up. It was again, just amazing to see this community just embrace our mission and what we're doing. Just to see the signs made by all these kids, help change foster care, and just, it was just wonderful. So Sunday night, I was with my staff and some volunteers, and we were sitting around a giant table counting wadded up dollars and sticky quarters, and we're all tired. We've all been out in the heat, holding our own stands and visiting people and thanking them. And we're going through all the envelopes, and my support coordinator, Kylie Ebbett, pulls this letter out, and she's looking at it, and suddenly she's just got tears, streaming down her face. And we're like, what is it? What is it? And so I brought the letter. I wanted to read it to you guys today. It says, "Dear Isaiah House, thank you so much for all you are doing. Our 2 girls stayed with you last week, and they have spoken so highly of your home. You have made their transition into foster care so much easier, and they were so eager to give back $9 of our lemonade stand earnings is straight from one of their allowances, and they are hoping you spend it on more Squishmallows for other kids that are coming through your doors. We appreciate you, a new foster mom."
Oh, wow.
Wow.
So to me, this letter sums up our entire mission.
Mm-hmm.
These were girls that had been removed from their home, came to our house. We loved on them, obviously, gave them lots of Squishmallows, and, gave them everything that they needed, sent them to a new foster home. Their new foster mom felt supported, and then they turned around and held a lemonade stand to give back to our house. So, it gives me chills just even thinking about it now. But, that is exactly why we're doing what we're doing.
So I think back when I was a detective working, it was so many people that wanted to say yes, but they couldn't. And I think of statistics now, it's like 64% of people live paycheck to paycheck. So it may be on a Tuesday or Wednesday night, you're waiting on Friday to get paid again, things are thin, and you get that phone call that says that some family member or something has got a child and needs they try to place any of these kids that have to go into a care, not in a foster home, but try to put them with another family member if they can, if they're available. So I think that how many times I heard people say, I wish I could, I just can't. I don't have this, I don't have that. And this is that. Not only you're giving that child a good, safe place to stay while we're figuring all that stuff out, because there's a whole lot of boxes that had to be checked from DCS and law enforcement side, and we each have our own responsibilities we're going to do, and that takes that big burden off that a lot of times we don't think about it, where they had a sleeping bag and they slept on the floor of an interview room or at DCS office. To where that's why this program to me is so important and means so much to that. I think it's great. And I always said, if you look back 150 years ago, all of our towns centered around the church and what happened, and just with Isaiah and 117 and what the background that the family has and the churches that are involved with your program now. That when Wayne and I think y'all had a large church group that was there that day helping you guys, and it just comes full circle, and those kids are going to remember that forever. Mm-hmm. There was a kid, I know when John Coleman was built and the new school was done, and that a little boy walked into that school and he'd spent the first 3 years of his life nothing but in a portable. When he went in, he said,
a trailer classroom.
Yeah, and what did he say?
I don't call them portable.
Yeah,
I call them trailers.
That's what they are.
But he really thought, I'm like in a real school now, and I got a chance to go to college.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, he did say that.
At third grade.
Yeah.
And you're doing the same work, with not the same child, but kids just like him that can see, all right, I can have a little bit of a future.
But having that transition from that unsafe home to your house to either foster care or a relative's house, it just going from really bad to so much better to, hey, I am safe. Mm-hmm. It's that's amazing. It just makes you feel just warm all over to know that children are being cared for.
I want to go back to what you said, Rick, about making phone calls and people saying, I wish I could say yes, but I can't because, that's another big piece of what we do is we want foster families, we want to say yes, and we want foster families to feel like they can say yes too. And not just foster families, but, a lot of times, our mission is not just, for children going into a foster home, but also like a kinship placement or an IPA placement. Because a lot of times, children who are being removed might go to a family member. We had a caseworker that called and said, hey, we've got a grandma who wants to say yes to taking these children, but she needs a crib and she needs a bed, and she doesn't have there were these things that she had to have in order to say yes. And we said, you give us a list of what she needs and we'll make sure she has them all by tomorrow.
Wow. That's right.
So, we want to make sure that these families can say yes. And that's what we do. Like that's our mission. So, we had a really big sibling group that came into custody. I think there were 6 kids, and they actually did not come to the home. They didn't come to the house, but there was a family in their church that took them in, and but they had nothing. They didn't have anything. Man, we called on our volunteers, and our giving room was so busy, and we had 6 duffel bags, and we had somebody over in the toy section pulling things, and we were pulling school supplies, we were pulling clothes. I was on the Walmart app ordering beds and cribs, and it was just an amazing day because we knew that because of the resources that we had, there was this large sibling group was going to be in a safe home that night, and this family that wanted so badly to say yes but didn't have the means to do it was able to do it because we were there to help and step in.
Yep. And the things you're talking about we think is normal things, and a lot of times in those homes, those atmospheres, those kids have never seen any of that, so it's not normal
for sure.
to them.
Yeah.
I remember putting a little girl in a car seat one day, and she was questioning me, what is this? And I said, this is your seat. This is the seat. And she was so proud of that seat because that was her car seat. Well, we think of it as take for granted, but here's this little girl's never even been in a car seat.
Yeah.
You even send a casserole home
That's
with
right.
you,
That's right.
which I thought, what a sweet touch. I mean, a casserole dish. That's really old South hospitality. Is people sing casseroles when families are going through a tragedy or sadness or something. A casserole dish is considered, hey, we're thinking of you, we love you, and please enjoy this.
We don't want that foster family to feel the stress and anxiety of what do I need to do? What do I need to run out and get? What do I need to fix for dinner? We want them to be able to sit down and have a meal and get to know these children that they are opening their homes to. So,
somebody wants to volunteer or help, how can they get in contact with you guys?
So follow us on social media for sure. Isaiah 117 House, Rutherford Co. But also, if you go to the Isaiah117house.com website and go to locations, you can find the Rutherford County house if you're here in Rutherford County, and you can go directly to our Linktree page. There's a link to volunteer. There's a link to give. Our Amazon wish list is there if you want to donate immediate needs that we have. I'd love to talk in our next segment about our upcoming golf tournament. But there's a link to that as well.
You're talking my language.
Yeah, but there's a way to get in touch with us via email that way as well.
Okay. What else did we talk about, Wayne?
Well, I think at one time we talked about coordination between the judicial system, people here in Rutherford County and your group. Is that a relationship that needs to be improved, or as far as working?
So I bet you were going to have some upcoming classes with DCS with y'all's team leaders and stuff with DCS as far as getting the word out better and how to coordinate better with law enforcement, and how has that gotten better?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
We actually Judge Lampley came and toured
Yep.
our home, and I really feel like that relationship is strong, and as far as DCS goes, I mean, they call us when these kids are being removed. They call us immediately. And the DCS office was closed for
remodel.
months. For a remodel for months and months and months, and it was actually pretty amazing because they needed a place to work. And so we opened our doors and we were like, hey, come in. We've got this house. We've got this space. And so they were having their team meetings at our house. We were allowing them, go upstairs. We've got, tables and stools and things there. And our volunteers, we had a schedule, and they were signing up to, talking about casseroles. They were signing up to bring muffins and breakfast casseroles, and we were feeding them and taking care of them. And it was pretty amazing. Any given day you'd walk in and there were 5 caseworkers sitting around the table with their computers working away, drinking coffee. And, we just wanted to make sure that they were feeling loved and that they had a place to go. So
they have a meeting every month. It's law enforcement and DCS and the DA's office. It's called
SIP-IT meeting. Yeah.
So I felt like after, obviously now it seems like you all guys are entwined together. It's a public-private partnership that you guys got, which wheels of justice are slow, unfortunately, but I'm glad to hear that sped up.
Amen.
And doing great. But you listen to Beth Bryant. She is the local leader for the Rutherford County chapter of the Isaiah 117. We're going to take our second break and be right back with you in just a minute.
One in 4 Americans have a disability. I'm one of them. I'm also a working mom who cares deeply about making sure every child with a disability thrives by getting their access needs met. We've got a trusted ally by our side. Easter Seals provides children and families the foundation for lifelong success through early learning programs, skills training, and prep for college and career. That's my Easter Seals. Make it yours. Join us at easterseals.com.
Are you the parent of a 2 to 7-year-old? Listen closely for an exciting free radio offer. By now, you've probably heard of ABC Mouse, the Parents' Choice Award-winning online learning program that's actually changing the lives of early learners everywhere.
ABC Mouse is like a little one-on-one teacher. It has helped her so much.
Right now, we're offering a special radio promo to try it free for a month, but you have to go to abcmouse.com/radio to claim your free month. That's abcmouse.com/radio.
Sponsored by Age of Learning.
Rutherford County is one of the fastest growing communities in Tennessee. This is Mike Klassen, the general manager at Middle Point Landfill. As a Class 1 landfill, Middle Point accepts non-hazardous municipal solid waste, approved special waste, and commercial waste. We have served this region for 2 decades, providing free disposal to all Rutherford County residents and low-cost disposal to Rutherford County businesses. Learn more at middlepointlandfill.com. For public services, we are sustainability in action.
This is Kim Dunaway from Sunshine Nutrition Center. You hear me on Monday mornings at 7:20 talking about how to lead a healthier lifestyle. We carry supplements, personal care, and grocery items at both our Murfreesboro and Smyrna locations, family owned and operated since 1989.
At Bud's Tire Pros, we sell all major brands of tires, and we invite you to stop by today for that next set of tires. Or maybe you need us to check out your vehicle before you head out of town. We offer everything from brakes to batteries, alignments, and more. No appointments necessary. Just stop on by.
I'm Allison Mitchell with Bud's Tire Pros. We're located on East Main Street, exactly 3 miles from the town square, 1 mile past Rutherford Boulevard. Visit us online at budstirepros.tn.com.
One thing that summer brings is weddings and then anniversaries to celebrate. Come visit us at Bell Jewelers to celebrate those special moments. If you're stumped and don't know what to get your loved one for their anniversary, come visit us at Bell Jewelers and let any of our associates help you with ideas. So it's kind of a cool way to commemorate those amazing years that you've spent together. Come see us at Bell Jewelers, 821 Northwest Broad Street, across from Toots.
This is Pastor Nikki Ajapong, the lead pastor of Holy Hill Chapel in Murfreesboro.
Hear our sermons on WGNS every Sunday night at 7:30.
Our congregation is made up of a variety of nationalities.
Visit Holy Hill Chapel, tn.org to hear our podcast.
This is the Roundtable from News Radio WGNS on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna. Listen and watch at WGNSradio.com.
And welcome back to the third and final segment of Tuesday Mornings with Rick and Wayne. And we're certainly enjoying getting to be with our friend Beth Bryant with Isaiah 117. And, we have such respect for you and your volunteers and this initiative to take care of children at their probably one of their most desperate times.
It's crazy to think about it. I know this is my third time to visit you guys, and it feels like we've been open forever, but our house has only been open for 15 months.
Wow.
But in that time, we have served about 300 children, which is amazing, but also heartbreaking. But yeah, just this month already, we're 15 days into July. We've had 8 children come through our doors. But again, yesterday we had a sweet girl sitting at the bar eating breakfast, and she was smiling, and I said, "What's your big smile for?" She was like, "I just love that y'all remember that I love chocolate milk. You always have chocolate milk for me." And she was eating her breakfast, and just it's the little things. It's little things like that, and our volunteers key into what their favorite things are and what they like to do. And
have you had infants removed?
Yes. So
that seems to me would be a whole different ball game in caring for an infant.
And if you notice, in our house we did not have a crib. And we always say that's because when we get babies, no one's putting them down.
Exactly.
Right.
But we do have a pack and play in that situation. We've had a couple of teen moms come in with babies. Little ones when they come in, little ones get placed pretty quickly. So they are with us for not quite as long a period of time. The truth is, teenagers are harder to find placement for. Sure. They have typically seen a lot more trauma. They've probably made some choices because of that trauma that reflect poorly on them on paper. And so they typically are a little harder to find placement for. Little ones we usually have for hours at a time, unless it's a larger sibling group. A lot of times larger sibling groups are harder to find placement for, or children with some special needs maybe are a little harder to find placement for. But yes, we've had several infants that have come through our doors.
So I want to unpack what you were talking about a minute ago. So here's the little girl, and she says, "You always have chocolate milk for me," and that shows that, the system, it's working. But parents do things, and they better themselves, and they have a chance then to have their child or children back. But just like people with drug problems, there's lapses or things that happen beyond their control, or it may be in their control, that these kids, unfortunately, are repeat and they come back in the system again. But where before we would have to take them back in again, and there was the trauma it was causing the kids with having to come instead of the police department or DCS office. And here they're getting to come back in the house, and they're smiling and they're laughing and they're happy, and they're getting chocolate milk. And that's why this program's so important. And that's why I wish there was some kind of governmental, I hate saying getting the government involved, but I know they got in those pockets sometimes on the federal system, that a federal program that didn't somehow do a grant type thing for you guys to, because this needs to be in every state. It needs to be in all your big municipalities and things like that. And we've got 95 counties in state of Tennessee, and I get the Mid-Cumberland region, we could put them in some 2 or 3 counties and make it work. But man, this needs to be everywhere especially these kids.
Yep.
It's amazing.
Yep.
It is hard to see repeat kids because then that things haven't gone quite the way they were supposed to go, or the way that we'd hoped that they've gone. But of course when they say, "You're so happy to see me, aren't you happy to see me?" And of course we say yes, we are happy to see them.
Yeah.
And one thing I don't know that I have I guess I've maybe talked to you guys about, that we do have talking about parents that are working towards being, bettering themselves and getting their kids back and getting their lives back on track. We do have a visitation space at our house, and I think you guys saw that space. Yeah. So we have the main part of our house, and then there's an office space, and on the other side of that office space, and it kind of serves as its own little it's almost like a little studio apartment kind of space. And we can set, we can lock doors, and it can be separate from the rest of the house. And that space can be scheduled with DCS caseworkers who have parents that are working towards reunification with their children, and they can schedule visits with their children in that space. I had a call yesterday from a caseworker who has a family of 5, and the parents were having to meet in this tiny office with these kids, and the mom always makes this great big meal, like a meal for her family, and they were having to all sit around this tiny little office table to have this meal together. And I said, well, our space is, it's a studio type apartment, and she said, you don't understand, like, they're meeting in this tiny little office, for 3 hours. And I said, well, we've got a kitchen and a table and a couch and a bathroom and a television and games, and they can go out in the driveway and shoot basketball. And she was like, that would be amazing. So we have families that are able to use that space to visit with their children under supervision of caseworkers. So that's been a really great thing, I think, as well, because when families are meeting at a park or at a McDonald's or at the mall, 30 minutes at a place like that is okay, but 3 hours, that's just not quality time that you can spend with your children. And so that's been really great.
I know you deal with some heartbreaking situations on a regular basis, but I would like to think that you and your volunteers sleep so well at night, knowing the positive impact that you've had and continue to have on so many children.
We definitely see some heartbreaking things. And I like to say that the hard things don't harden my heart. I definitely feel that God has called me to this mission for a reason. And so daily he strengthens my heart so that my heart can handle them. But things like this, reading this letter that we got the other night, or the smile on, that girl's face when she was so excited about the chocolate milk, all of those moments absolutely make the hard moments much more bearable, for sure.
I suspect you're probably building mansions on high. You and your volunteers.
I don't know about that. My volunteers for sure. They're pretty amazing.
Well, all of y'all are amazing. Just what an incredible service.
Well, thank you.
I agree with you. You know, our time before the Lord and the pearly gates, I think we're going to have to pull up a chair when I sit down there. I think you'll walk right through. So.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I'll probably have to go through an interview process.
That's right. Pull up a chair.
Beth, just bypass the line. Come on.
So tell us about the golf tournament.
All
you got
right.
it here.
Okay. Super excited about our golf tournament. So August the 26th is our annual golf tournament.
That's on a Monday?
It is on a Monday. The reason it's on a Monday is because we're having it at the Stones River Country Club this year, and that's the day that their country club is closed to the members.
Got it.
So it's going to be at 9 a.m. on August the 26th, and it's going to be a really fun day. When you check in there, we're going to have breakfast for all of the golfers beforehand. We're going to get out. We've got a 9 a.m. Shotgun start. And then after the golf tournament, we're going to have a really nice lunch for everybody. We're going to have lots of prizes and giveaways. Also, we've got some sponsorship opportunities. So if you are a local business owner and you want to get involved with that, we've got several different sponsorship levels available as well, but a 4-person team is $700, but for $850 you can be a team sponsor, and then that'll get you a 4-person team and then also a whole sign with your business logo out on the course somewhere. And then so that's the lowest sponsorship level, and it kind of goes up from there. Or if you're not a golfer but you just want to offer some support, for $250 you can have a whole sponsor sign out on the course. So we'd love to have everybody join us. I think we're up to 14 teams right now, and we're thinking we could probably have up to 30-ish teams. We don't want to get too big because we want the golfers to have a great time, and we don't want it to be too crowded.
Right.
So we'd love to have you guys join us. Again, if you go to Isaiah117house.com and find the Rutherford County page, if you go to our link tree, there's a link there to register for the golf tournament as well.
I saw an Isaiah 117 t-shirt at church.
Oh, yeah.
On Sunday. I went, oh, wow. Rick and I need to try to
I'll bring you guys some
t-shirts.
Get
a couple of those.
Yeah. Did it say, "Love, you're not alone"?
It did. It did.
Yeah.
I thought, I told Teresa, I said, look at the t-shirt.
Well, I'll just have to bring you guys some t-shirts.
Well,
I can make that happen for sure.
I just thought it was so neat that normally on Sunday mornings we all try to, especially if you're old school, you try to look your Sunday best. But
not anymore, Betty.
But I just thought an Isaiah 117 t-shirt is about as appropriate, other than saying something about worshiping our Father or the Son. Taking care of widows and orphans are a direct command. And when a child is taken from their home, they become an orphan, and that's what you're taking care of.
Well, and that tagline, "Love, you're not alone." That's our message to the children that we serve, and to the caseworkers and to foster families. We just want them to know that they're not alone. They're not alone in this traumatic, this journey that they're going through, because we're here for them. So.
Yep, traumatic is the word I need to fixate on when you're dealing with a child being taken away from their home, whatever the situation was or is, being taken from that. That's what they know, and going to something they don't know has to be terrifying.
And I think Wayne, that's the part that's the awareness that I want to get out to the community, because I don't think that's something that people think about. I know, Rick, you do, because that's what with your job. But I was a teacher here in Rutherford County for 7 years, and I knew children were being taken from their homes. I knew children were going into foster care. I knew there were foster kids. But I don't think until I really heard the story about Removal Day, and I really sat down and thought about children being removed from their homes, children being taken from their homes, I didn't really think about that whole process and how that would affect a child. But once I knew, I couldn't unknow it, you know?
Sure.
And it was that, I think for me, that was the breaking point for me. And that was what got me involved in Isaiah 117.
Well, past President's Council, we're trying to do some things in partnership with the Rotary Club, but we've had the Atlas director here on the program too, and there's hundreds of homeless children, you know, in this county, and you know, just trying to make a difference as best we can with programs like Isaiah 117 and of course the Atlas program through the county schools. So.
Speaking about Atlas, that's another thing that that another goal of mine is to make connections with other organizations in our community that have similar missions, so that, you know, if someone comes to me with a need and it doesn't fall within my mission, I have a connection with another community partner, and I can say, hey, you know, this isn't something that falls within my mission, but here's the phone number, or here's a contact of somebody that does. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Bridge Family Ministries, but they're an organization here in town that supports foster families. So, you know, so when we make that initial support connection for foster families, and then they are a great organization that will continue to support foster families once they have made that, you know, initial yes. And then it's, okay, so now what? So now where do we turn to for support? But organizations like Atlas or organizations like Bridge Family Ministries, and there's a lot of other little local nonprofits here that want to help, you know, children in need. Stepping Stone Safe Haven is another wonderful organization that is really stepping up and trying to help homeless women and children. But just making connections with those nonprofits so that we can all kind of come together and support each other.
Maybe we can do a show, Rick, with you know, you and maybe 2 or 3 of the other partnerships, nonprofits, and just have a kind of a roundtable discussion about, hey, this is what we do and this is what we need.
I think that's a great idea.
Sign me up. Let's do it.
God bless you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you guys so much for having me.
Yeah, thank you. We enjoyed having you on again.
Amen.
But hope everybody enjoyed the show. World Outreach, I don't know if you noticed this week or not, but they're going to have kind of the search beacons up. There's going to be going around every night out by front of their sanctuary there by the flags. But it's reminding us, especially with right now, is just to pray. And it's not that you need to sit down and say a prayer for 5 minutes. If it's a one-liner, it's a one-liner. And, you know, if you've got that sense about you, you can do more than one line.
Yep.
But if you can just start with one right now. But you're going to see them up, and everybody's probably going to ask what it is, and that's what it is. Just take a minute.
Pray without ceasing.
Pray. Amen. But I hope everybody has a great week, and we'll see you next week as usual. Have a great day.